The moment I opened the door, I never imagined that my fiancé would be in bed with my best friend, both of them wearing nothing. I went absolutely crazy and charged toward them, wanting nothing more than to kill the two of them. But my fiancé shoved me to the floor and turning it around, blamed me instead. Rosalind, he sneered, if you hadn't been so self-righteous and refused to sleep with me, I wouldn't have cheated. Fine. Since he no longer wanted me, I married his older brother. On the day of the wedding, I smiled at him and said, Norris, guess what? I'm your sister-in-law now. Chapter 1. I was the precious daughter of the Sullivans. A year ago, despite my parents' strong objections, I had insisted on marrying Norris Gilbert. After a lot of protesting and stubborn negotiations, I finally got them to agree to an engagement with the Gilbert son. As I was happily preparing for our wedding, my phone suddenly buzzed with a message. Enchanted Hotel, room 305. Your fiancé is with another woman. At first, I couldn't believe it. After all, just yesterday we were together, planning the wedding details. But when I opened the door, I saw it with my own eyes. My fiancé was on top of my best friend, Jasmine Perkins. I was in shock. How could the person he was cheating with be Jasmine of all people? I went absolutely crazy and charged toward them, wanting nothing more than to kill the two of them. But Norris shoved me to the floor and turning it around, blamed me instead. Rosalind, he sneered, if you hadn't been so self-righteous and refused to sleep with me, I wouldn't have cheated. Was our entire relationship not worth more than his physical needs? Seeing me in tears, Norris gently helped me up, wiping my tears away. Don't cry, Rosalind. It's just physical with her. The one I truly love is you. Can't you two just share me? He asked, as if it were the most reasonable thing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He wanted me to accept sharing him with someone else. Well, he could dream on. I slapped him across the face in anger, sending him sprawling to the ground. Next thing I knew, we were at the police station. Norris, still holding Jasmine close, deliberately kissed her in front of me. The sight of them made my stomach churn. In the years we'd been together, everyone around us said we were a perfect match. I had thought so too. I devoted myself entirely to him. During the times he was so drunk he could barely stand, I'd stayed by his side watching over him. When he was so busy he forgot to eat, I'd bring him hot meals. I had witnessed the emotional distance between my own parents and had always appreciated Norris, the most loving partner I could have ever asked for. Norris had even promised that he would love only me forever. But how could he do this to me? How could he cheat with someone so close to me and then turn around and blame me for it? I climbed into my close friend's car, still reeling from the pain, ordered 20 male escorts at the bar to help me drown my sorrows. I sipped my drink, watched the escorts pass by, and counted them one by one. 1, 2, 3, 19. I realized I was missing one. What was going on with this place? I'd paid for them all, and yet there was one missing. Just then, a man in a suit walked past me. I remembered ordering a male escort in a suit. I scanned the room, and sure enough, the suited man wasn't anywhere to be seen. This must be him. I clicked my heels and grabbed the tie of the man who had passed by. With a swift motion, I dragged him toward me. Excuse me, miss, he said, his voice soft but firm. I don't think this is a good idea. I raised an eyebrow. Was this how male escorts were acting these days? I gently slapped his face. It's all right. I know how to be gentle. I won't hurt you. A blush spread across his face. I smiled at him amused. Was this the new trend in male escorts? Or maybe rich women just like these innocent types? I pulled him over to a sofa, poured a drink, and handed it to him. Drink up. If you make me happy, I'll pay you more. The man hesitated, repeatedly refusing my offer. I had no say over a cheater's actions, but I had paid for this guy, so I wasn't about to let him refuse me. His refusals only made me angrier. I grabbed his chin and pinched it hard. His delicate skin immediately turned red under my fingers, and I tilted his head back before pouring a glass of strong liquor down his throat. Looking at the dazed expression in his eyes, I felt a sense of satisfaction. Who needed Norris when I had these handsome men around? I grinned, gently patting the suited man's back. The way his face turned bright red from the alcohol was so tempting. I wanted to do so much more. As I was thinking about how